because lessons 2 and 3 build off work they did in first grade. It's just bringing in that new component of the clock as a number line, which they haven't seen before. Lesson 4, what's the big idea of lesson 4?
I was like, oh, I done messed up this line 20 times.
I did the same thing. What's the big idea of lesson 4?
Like going from one location to another, like how long did it take? Calculating distance and time.
Being able to count forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
To the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Solving story problems with elapsed time, either moving forwards or backwards in time, or sometimes finding out how much time has passed. So there's like 3 different types of elapsed time story problems. What do we feel will be most challenging for kids with this?
We like hintages now too, because I put because I can mess up the number line. Pay close attention and counting minute lines. I really put minute lines. And I think that would be like the hardest thing, and then.
But then also like how they're computing the amount of time is going to be a little confusing because like I'm sure we'll see some people trying to skip count to solve, some people counting regularly, and some people who can do like subtraction or addition to figure out how long it's going to be. But then we're going to see the issues with like, so for like number 1 on the problem set, Cole starts reading at 6:23, he stops at 6:49. Knowing that they could do 49 minus 23 to find that, but then what do you do with your hours? Like,
yeah, and that's where, because all of these are within an hour of each other. So yes, they can use subtraction, but I agree, we need to be really intentional about like, sometimes you might have to regroup an hour into minutes.
Right.
Not in this lesson, but it does come up.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So what would you guys say would be like the procedural criteria for success that we expect on student work? Actually, let's take a look at our exit tickets for that lesson. Let's pull yours out. We'll just pass them around, take 10 seconds to look at the work and think about like, what is the exemplar bar? What do we want to see from kids? So pass it
We're going to pass this around?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
sorry. I didn't share it. So sorry about that.
You're fine. Just look at like how different people showed work in different ways and think about what you would want to see from kids.
Gerald's
Pass. No, I'm looking at the other work. Because there's some good things there. Pass.
Gerald, oh, this is yours?
Yeah.
Pass. You should have yours back. Alright. We'll start with Breon and just whip around. What are the different ways you saw people showing work on their paper? Or what are the different strategies you noticed? Just name one.
Number line.
Number line. Okay.
Marking on the clock. Number line 2.
Yep.
But I'm going back to my previous thing.
Yeah. Because you did something different than I did, and we both used the number line.
I definitely was like marking my locations on the clock too with the number line.
Yeah.
I would have them like try to interpret them.
Yeah, because you marked each location and did like the minute marks in between, whereas I just made jumps of minutes. And
I've seen your jumps.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Thanks. What would we push kids to do? Would you accept both? You would.
Yeah,
what will you model?
Answer.
What will you highlight in your concept development?
Probably the way with the number line.
Well, we both use the number line, but can you put your problem set down so we can compare? See how Kenya started and she did the 5-minute marks in between, whereas I put my starting time and made a jump of 10, another jump of 10, and jumps of 1 to get there. But she's showing the 5-minute increments.
Yours is more higher level.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Because you don't have the minutes, so like I was like a slow and I was just like 15, 14, 15, 16, 17, and I was counting.
I think that one might even be a little easier to, like it's a harder concept, but I think it's easier to get the correct answer that way than it is from doing it. Like when you have the number line and like the single ticks. It's like, I mean, just knowing, like, that's easy. Don't jump in.
Yeah, this isn't that form with skip counting. This is for like, I'm a student that didn't relate skip counting to that. I just really went minute to minute to minute. And then I was putting like 10 here, 10 here. I didn't do that until after I did minute, minute. I'm like, okay, that's taking forever. And then you'll see like my 10s right there. Like, okay, so I mean, it's based on the kid, I guess. But you was asking like which one we model.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was start here.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because I have a lot of kids that still looking at multiplication chart.
So you just think they need that, like,
push. Oh, well, this is about lesson 4, though. Let me think about that.
Yeah. But it is, like you guys named before, the first lesson where they're solving for elapsed time. Before they were just plotting times on the number line. Now they're actually, like, making jumps of minutes or finding how much time has passed. So it's new. They've never done this before. I think there's also value if kids are struggling, because the exit ticket had them start and show the start time on the clock and then draw the end time. So if you have your big teacher clocks and you've got a class set of the smaller ones, like show them. Like, the minute hand is moving, how can we figure out how much time is passing? And that will do, like what you named before, Gerald, connect the clock to the number line, because you can do it on both. If I moved my minute hand 5 minutes, how can I show that on my number line? And making that connection between like what's happening on the clock to what you're doing with your pencil on the number line. Are there, you're fine. Are there any other strategies we noticed on the work that we passed around? Gerald, what did you do?
I just did subtraction with the time. Like, actually put the actual times on there, do subtraction. Like, that's like higher level, just because you're gonna need to know like what to do with the ones, like the hours. I mean, but yeah. Yeah. So like I marked my first time, my second time, and then I subtracted it, found my difference was 22 minutes.
I did it in my head, subtraction. That's how I did it. But you're right. I don't know how, like if I was to explain that to them, what would I tell them to do with the ones?
Right.
And if we look at the objective, what strategy is it naming for kids? It's written on the bottom of your exit ticket.
Using the number line clock.
So would you accept that?
No.
If they had a number line to go with it, yes. But they would need the number line just to mark the times first.
Okay. So then,
but what if they did it like that? It wouldn't be wrong, right?
Well, I mean, I feel like that would be, well, for...
Because you're saying when we accept it, like when we say, no, you have to show me the number line even if they got the correct answer.
Yeah, because it doesn't ask.
I don't know, would you?
I would, because it doesn't ask.
It depends on
I would prefer the number line, but it doesn't ask them to do it with the number line in the exit ticket.
That's true.
That's
It doesn't. It doesn't.
So like if we have a student that just has this, and maybe we could say, well, explain to me how you got this, or show me.
I think that would just be like a follow-up.
Yeah.
Like follow up, make sure that you get your number line to go with that, but I would still count it as correct.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I would count it as correct. I would push them to at least show some work, just because you guys have been really consistent all year about like what you expect to see on student papers and making them show their thinking every single time. So if I saw a kid do this, I might just say, show me how you got that answer. Just to make sure that you could see their thinking. And to know that they like didn't copy from a neighbor or something, just to be sure. Cool, so based on what we talked about, the strategies, the criteria for success, what are some key moments in the concept development or some key questions we might want to ask?
Well, definitely number one, because it is doing that connection between the number line and the clock. So I guess some of the questions that we would need with that are like, how is a clock like a number line? How are they related? Because if they can explain that, then that'll go a long way with when they're showing their work with that number line.
Yeah, I actually had that same question as like,
Is it a video that will show like the clock spreading out?
that's a great question. I'm
Yeah,
sure there is
might be a
somewhere.
nice little opening
Yeah,
to this whole little lesson and play it every
yeah.
time
Because
we
if
about
they
to
can
do
see
it.
it open up,
Yeah.
that'd be super powerful.
I know vocabulary has a clock video, but I can't remember if it shows the clock as a number line too, but that could be something to look into. Because I used it last year and the kids liked it and it was helpful. I just can't remember if there was the number line component or not. But yeah, I agree. I had that like, how does the number line help us solve a story problem with elapsed time is my consolidate the learning closing question at the end, because I do think that understanding is so essential in connecting the clock to the number line. What would you want kids to say? Like, what would your exemplar response be for that question?
I'll play the number line and the clock has the interval lines and a minute line. And they should be able to clearly see that.
They both have a starting point and an ending point. It's
Mhm.
just with one, you're starting and you're going straight across, and the other, you're starting and you're ending back where you started.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to know that the numbers are still in order. Like, it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12.
What else do we want to make sure to highlight in the concept development? What are some other key skills or understandings that kids need to be successful?
Applauding the